You know that thing you've been wanting to start? That idea, that thought, that goal and dream that you keep thinking of, but you just can't seem to take the first step to make it happen? It feels like something is holding you back. What if you knew that the hardest part wasn't doing it, it's just starting it? Think about it. How many times have you pushed away your goals, your dreams, or even such a simple task? You tell yourself, I'll do it tomorrow, I'll start on Monday, I'm just not ready, it's just not the right time. But those days turn into weeks, and those weeks turn into months, and still nothing happens. So why do we struggle so much to take the first step? What's holding us back? Is it fear, self-doubt, or are we just waiting for the perfect moment? In this video, I will share 3 of the biggest reasons why starting feels so hard, and more importantly, how you can break through resistance and take the action you wish for. If you're tired of feeling stuck and finally want to make a change and take those steps towards your goals, personal growth, and success, then this video is for you. So let's get into it. The first is fear of failure or even fear of success. One of the biggest things holding us back is the fear of failing. We always tend to focus and worry about all the things that could go wrong. Our thoughts are things like, what if I fail? What if I'm not good enough? What if this doesn't work out? What if people judge me? And this is normal because our brain is wired to avoid and protect us from discomfort. So when we step into the unknown, it triggers doubt, anxiety, and second guessing. So instead of taking action, we tend to stay in our comfort zone. Funnily enough, sometimes we can also have fear of success. We have thoughts like, what if it actually goes well and I actually succeed in it? Can I handle what comes with it? Am I ready for it? And this is also keeping us from moving forward. How to overcome it? Reframe failure. Think of it as being part of the learning process. Every successful person failed many times before succeeding. The important part is they didn't stop. They learned, adjusted, and continued. Instead of focusing on the worst case scenarios, ask yourself, what's the best that could happen? And shift the phrase of, what if I fail, to what if I succeed? And allow that warm and exciting feeling you might get to take the leap. Take small, low-risk steps to build your confidence and momentum. Just starting in a small way can help your brain realize that it's really not that scary. Once you accomplish the first step, realize how good it's making you feel and how much it's already adding to your life, you won't want to stop. You want to get to the next step, and then the rest is a ripple effect. 2, overthinking and perfectionism. Most of us think that we need to have everything perfectly planned before we begin. I have definitely been one to think like that my whole life. We end up getting stuck in analysis paralysis loop. We research and plan endlessly while we wait for the right time. But the more we think about it, the more the doubt builds up. The truth is that the perfect plan and the perfect time that we think of just doesn't happen or arrive on its own. We need to take the action to create it and make it happen. How to overcome it? Done is better than perfect. It's better to get started even if it feels messy or it feels wrong to you. Or it feels like if you did it in another moment, it could be better. And sometimes that's valid. It's best to just go for it, but have the firm belief in your mind that you will improve with time and you will get better along the way. The important thing is to just start. Set a deadline for decisions to be made. Organize a time frame of what your first step will be. And set a time that you'll achieve this by. Then do the same for the second step and for the third and so on until it becomes a natural part of your daily and weekly routine. It's extremely important to follow the time that you have set out for your goals because this makes it a lot more achievable and you can count on your plan. It does all become easier and easier with time and the more you do it, of course. Plan and organize your big goal into small, achievable and manageable steps that will lead to achievement. Instead of focusing on the big picture, just focus on the very first action. A way I do it is I just write everything down on my notepad or on a Word document for clarity and intent.
3. Lack of clarity and direction.
Sometimes we struggle to start because we don't know where to start from, and this makes us feel lost, stressed, overwhelmed, and we end up doing nothing at all. This happens when you don't have a clear vision or plan, because when you are unsure about why you want something, motivation gets lost. How to overcome it? Get clear on what you are trying to achieve and write it down in specific detail. For example, instead of writing down, I would like to get healthier, write it down in a clearer way, such as, I would like to work out 3 times a week and eat healthier and more nutritious foods. Find your why. When your reason for starting is powerful, it's much easier to stay committed. The key takeaway is that starting isn't about having everything figured out. It's about taking the first imperfect step. Fear, overthinking, and lack of clarity often tries to hold you back. But once you start, momentum takes over. Alright, now that we know why it can be so hard for us to start, let's talk about how we can actually push through it and finally take action. 3 powerful ways to help you take action and start. 1. The 5-second rule. Stop thinking, just do. If you've never heard of the 5-second rule by Mel Robbins, it's one of the simplest yet effective techniques to overcome procrastination and hesitation. The rule is simple. When you would like to take action towards something, count backwards 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and then physically make a move. The key is to move before your brain has the time to create excuses or let fear come in. Why this works: interrupts hesitation and overthinking. Your brain is designed to protect you from discomfort, uncertainty, and potential failure. When you hesitate, your mind starts filling with doubts, excuses, and reasons to avoid action. Counting down interrupts this cycle and forces you to act before fear or procrastination take over. It activates the prefrontal cortex, which is the action center of the brain. When you count backwards, you engage the prefrontal cortex, the part of the brain responsible for decision making and focus. This shifts your brain away from autopilot, where bad habits live, and into intentional action, creates momentum, and builds confidence. The hardest part of any task is starting. Once you take the first step, you're likely to keep going. So each time that you use the 5-second rule, you prove to yourself that you can take action, reinforcing confidence and discipline over time. It rewires your brain for action. The more you practice this rule, the more you train your brain to associate hesitation with action instead of avoidance. Over time, this helps you become more productive, decisive, and fearless towards taking on new challenges. The 5-second rule isn't magic. It's science-backed and based on how the brain works. Action leads to motivation, not the other way around. If you wait until you feel like doing something, you might never do it. But if you act despite hesitation, you take control of your life and build momentum. 2 is the start small method. Lower the pressure. One of the biggest mistakes that we make when trying to take action is thinking that we need to make huge, drastic changes right away. It's the all or nothing method that often leads us to feeling overwhelmed, procrastinate, and take no action. The truth is that small and consistent action is what leads to massive results over time. Why this works: reduces overwhelm and resistance. Big tasks can feel intimidating. The larger the goal is, the more resistance we have towards starting it. By breaking things down into tiny manageable steps, you remove the pressure and make the task feel doable. Creates momentum and builds confidence. Success isn't about making it in one giant leap. It's about taking many small steps. Each small action triggers a sense of progress, and progress leads to motivation. Rewires the brain for consistency. The more frequently you take small actions, the more your brain adapts to the new habits. Over time, what once seemed so difficult becomes effortless, because you've trained your brain to associate action with ease instead of stress. How to apply the start small method. Instead of saying, I need to work out for an hour, you could start with just 5 minutes. Sometimes we end up disappointing ourselves because we set the bar too high, too quickly. Starting with just 5 or 10 minutes, something that's a little bit more realistic and achievable, makes it easier to show up, and once you get into it and you're already moving, you might naturally want to keep going. This will at least encourage you and make you feel good about it and that you are achieving it. Instead of launching a huge business, start with one idea or test a project. Many people never start their dream because they feel that they need to have everything figured out first. Instead, take the pressure off. Start with just one idea or just one small step that moves you forward. So instead of relying on motivation, which motivation can fade, focus on making it easier for yourself so that it's harder to fail and easier to achieve. If you've been waiting for the perfect moment to start something big, start something small instead. Lower the pressure, take the tiniest possible step, and let the momentum carry you forward. 3. The no turning back commitment. Creating accountability and pressure in order to act. Sometimes motivation alone isn't enough to push us into action. Our brains love comfort, so if there's an easy way out, our brains will often take that. That's why one of the most effective ways to ensure progress is to set up a no turning back commitment, a situation where backing out is not an option. When you create external pressure, you force yourself into action, eliminating the chance for procrastination, hesitation, or overthinking. Why this works? Creates external accountability. When we make commitments only to ourselves, it's easier to break them because no one knows. But when we involve others by telling them our goals or making a financial commitment, it adds pressure to stay accountable, forces you into action without overthinking. When you have no choice but to act, your brain adapts to the situation. By eliminating the should I or shouldn't I debate, you get straight to work and bypass any hesitation. How to apply the no turning back commitment. Tell someone about your goal. When you publicly commit to something, you create social accountability and pressure, which will help you to follow through. Example, if you tell a friend or a family member that tomorrow morning you're planning to wake up at 6 a.m., so that you can do some work towards your business, you will feel more responsible and pressure to make that happen and wake up at 6 a.m. so that you don't seem unreliable. You can also find an accountability partner to check in on you and to help keep you on track. Sign up for something that forces you to start. If you're trying to get in shape, sign up for a fitness class. This creates a deadline and forces you to train. If you want to improve a skill, enroll yourself into an event or a course that requires your participation. When you have a commitment, make sure to put it on your calendar. The pressure of an approaching deadline will push you to act. If you struggle with taking action, don't just hope that you will do it. Set up a system. Eliminate any escape routes. Make commitments that force action. And watch yourself achieve more than you ever thought could be possible. The power is in your hands. Taking action is definitely not always easy, but you are capable of so much more than you actually think. Every time you take that first step, whether it's using the 5-second rule, starting small, or making a no turning back commitment, you're proving to yourself that you are in control. You're breaking past hesitation, fear, and excuses. And that is so powerful. Imagine where you could be in a month or in a year if you just start now. Don't continue waiting for the perfect moment. Create it. Take the first step, no matter how small, and keep moving forward. And remember, you should be proud of every task that you accomplish and every action that you take towards your goals, dreams, and aspirations. This is your time, your life, and your future. Every success starts with taking that first step. Congratulations, you are on the right path. Thank you so much for watching. If you like this video, leave a like down below, leave a comment, and don't forget to subscribe to my YouTube channel. And I'll see you in the next video. Ciao!